What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got the other leaders from OP-11. I'm very excited about this. We knew who two of the leaders were going to be. We were told by distributors. We didn't know the third one. We do know now. But let's start off with one we were expecting, Charlotte Katakuri. I mean, they literally put Charlotte Katakuri on the front of the booster pack. Nobody can be even a little bit surprised that we're getting a Charlotte Katakuri leader. This was absolutely signposted a mile off. Even if we hadn't had the reveal of, from the distributors telling us there was a Katakuri leader, I think we could have had a pretty good guess, given the OP-11, the booster pack artwork is Luffy against Katakuri, and we previously saw the Luffy leader. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. This cannot be a surprise to anybody. But that doesn't mean it's not cool that we're getting a Charlotte Katakuri leader. Now here we've actually got ourselves a mono purple leader, and we got a skill whereby when attacking, or when your opponent's attacking, once per turn, look at the top card of your opponent's deck, and then this leader gains 1,000 power for the turn. I love this. Now, we are mono purple, which is actually genuinely a little bit upsetting, because of course we have a lot of good yellow Big Mum pirates. And by giving us a mono purple Big Mum leader, I mean, look, we got yellow Big Mum leaders, we know this. We've got purple Big Mum pirates, we know this. But by giving us a mono purple Big Mum leader, it means that there's going to be a whole bunch of things like the ridiculously good Charlotte Lin, for example, which you're not going to be able to play in this deck, because firstly, it's yellow and it's a Big Mum pirate card that only works with Big Mum pirate leaders and blah, blah, blah. That's going to be annoying. Missing out on them is annoying. But we have purple. We got some purple Big Mum pirates. There's going to be more in this set. I think that's a pretty fair guess to make. And actually, we do have a really nice skill here, because essentially, you attack, you get to know the top card of your opponent's deck, and then, oh look, now I've also a 6k leader, so I'm swinging a bit better. That's good. But then on your opponent's turn, they attack, I don -1. I still get to see the top card of my opponent's deck, which gives me information, but then I've got 1,000 power. Now it's for the battle. I said turn earlier, it's very much battle, apologies for that. So there's one battle during my opponent's turn where they have to get over 6k to get at my life, rather than 5. There's one battle on my turn where I get to essentially swing with a 6k leader. And there was a point where we'd be looking at this going, I don't know, man, don -1 on my turn, don -1 on my opponent's turn. I mean, really? Nobody really cares anymore. Because we've got cards like Charlotte Puddin', who is, of course, a purple Big Mum pirate, that will essentially replace a Don on your turn once per turn. When a Don on your field is returned to your Don deck, replace it. And then, of course, Black Maria, that goes ridiculous adding extra Don. I really don't think the Don -1 on yours and your opponent's turn is going to be a particularly big deal. I really, really, really like this. Obviously, this is just broken with Charlotte Puddin'. That shouldn't surprise anybody. And actually, there is a card that has been kind of revealed that we've not had a chance to look at yet, but we're going to have to quickly look at it here, because we got Charlotte Oven from the set, which says that activate main, rest this character, declare a cost of your choice, look at the top card of your opponent's deck, and if the top card of their deck has the same cost that you said, KO one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 3 or less, and then add a Don card from your Don deck rested. Yeah, obviously Charlotte Oven with this leader busted. And this is what I mean when I talk about these leaders when they come around in new sets. This Charlotte Katakuri leader looks kind of good, but then we go, oh wait, Charlotte Oven, which has only actually been shown in a magazine at this point. Yeah. All of a sudden it looks way better, because Charlotte Oven replaces a Don while taking out one of your opponent's characters and guaranteeing it. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, this seems good. Honestly, the information from the skill is great. Going up to 6k for one battle on your turn and one on your opponent's is great. The Dawn Minus is not a big deal like it was in the early days of the game. And like I say, we've already seen Charlotte Oven, which works phenomenally with this. Anyone think there's not going to be some other combos coming down the line? I think there is, and I'm excited about it. Now, the other leader we knew was coming is Nami, but literally, as I'm recording mid-video, they've just gone and revealed Koby. Koby is the final leader here. So, yeah, we'll have a chat about Koby in a minute, but we do need to talk about Nami first. Nami is absurd. We got a dual-type blue and yellow leader here, and we've got ourselves 2 skills, which honestly make me very, very happy. We've got on your turn, or during your turn, once per turn, when a life leaves any life pile, yours or your opponent's, and you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, draw a card. Leaders with potential every turn draw power is amazing. Leaders that can sit there and consistently draw cards are great. Dual colour is good because of all the options. Obviously got the yellow straw hats and all of that here. But then we've also got continual draw. Oh yeah, and then Don X1, when your opponent attacks, trash a card from your hand to gain 2,000 power for the turn. And this is definitely for the turn. And look, leave a Don on Nami, right? Leave one Don on Nami. It comes to your opponent's turn. The first time they attack, trash a card from your hand. Oh, my leader's now 7k. But not for the battle, for the turn. You can take a card in your hand that doesn't have a counter and use it as a 2k counter, not just for this battle, but for every battle for the rest of the turn. And you've got draw power. This is broken. Absolutely, absurdly, ridiculously good. Leaders with more than 5k present a massive problem because it forces your opponent to continually commit extra Don and extra counter to actually get anything done. That's a problem. Well, now they're going to need to get over 7k every turn, or every battle, and you've also got an inbuilt draw engine as well? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely ridiculous. And look, my first thought when I looked at this was kind of like Charlotte Katakuri, oh, this must be for the battle. No, I've taught myself to read Japanese, and my Japanese isn't perfect, but my Japanese reading One Piece cards is very good, and it says, Kono Tanchu, apologies for the pronunciation, during this turn. Kono is this, Tan is obviously turn, and Chu is during. During this turn, power plus 2,000. There is no mistranslation here. This leader gains 2,000 power for the turn. So essentially you've trashed one card from your hand and it's now a constant counter plus 2k when your opponent's attacking your leader for the rest of the turn, and you have an inbuilt draw engine. This leader is ridiculous. Also, spare a thought for anyone who doesn't pull the alternate art, because the alternate art Nami is always going to be expensive if it's not particularly playable. This leader looks nuts and is Nami, and there's going to be an alternate art leader. It's going to be ridiculous. Oh, also, remember I told you about that Zeus thing the other day with a Zeus promo, which is a card from OP-11? We should look at that card quickly, because firstly, it's got counter plus 2k, but on play, you may add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand to KO one of your opponent's characters of a cost of 5 or less. Well, you play this, and then you add a card from your life to your hand. Well, now a card has left a life pile, so you draw another card. That's a plus 2 card advantage, one from the life, one from drawing. And you get to KO one of your opponent's characters of a cost of 5 or less. Yeah. I mean, look, I know Zeus has got Nami in the artwork, so they were kind of telling us all along that this Zeus was going to be great with Nami, don't get me wrong, but oh my word, that's a ridiculously good card with Nami. And look, we could sit here for like the next hour and talk about cards that are going to be particularly good with Nami, but let's talk about a couple. How about Starter Deck Lin Lin? I love Starter Deck Lin Lin. Remember the one I mentioned a minute ago from OP-03 is only with Big Mum leaders. But 7 cost 8k. And then on play, either your opponent trashes a card from the top of their life, Well, that's brilliant because they lose a life and you gain a card. Or they let you put a card on top of your life. Well, adding a card to the top of your life is good. And if they choose to trash one of their own life, you also get to draw a card in addition to them losing a life. Yeah. How about the Nico Robin? Came around in OP-09. If your opponent's got 3 or more life, you get to just trash a card from the top of their life. And then draw a card. And that's the ridiculous thing about Nami. You look at these cards like Nico Robin and Charlotte Lin, cards which are already inherently great because your opponent essentially loses life, but then every time your opponent loses life, you also get to go and draw a card. And then you got that other ridiculous skill. And actually drawing cards is very important because you need to keep your hand stocked because you basically need to be trashing a card from your hand every turn to activate the plus 2k on your leader. So, I mean, look, if you just had the plus 2k, I think Nami would be redonk. But now you're also telling me I get to draw pretty much every yeah, it's ridiculous. And like I say, I could keep going. Charlotte Flampe, we all know that Charlotte Flampe is like a ridiculous card, right? We're all very much in agreement that Charlotte Flampe is redonk. The one from EBO1, of course. Well, on play, add a card on the top or bottom of your life to your hand, so you get an extra card in hand. And you draw a card, so there's plus 2. Oh, but actually, you then activate your skill because the life has left a life area. So Charlotte Flampe now becomes a 1-cost character that draws 3 cards. And yes, I know you lose a life to do so, but yellow's got plenty of recovery. You can manage this. It's not the end of the world. I'm so ridiculously... Like, this leader just looks absurd. Absolutely absurd. And I know I've said this about leaders in the past that did not prove to be quite as good as I was expecting. I still stand by what I'm saying here with this leader. How about the Lucy from OP-07? Again, we're talking yellow. When attacking, once per turn, add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. Rest one of your opponent's characters for a cost of 4 or less. And then if you've got 1 or less life, add a card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. So, you take a life, draw a card, and then put a life back. And we've seen from rulings in the past that there's no controversy here. If you take a life, that activates the drawing. Even though you put a life back, a life is still left, so the draw will still activate. Unless it's just completely out of whack with previous rulings, which I don't think it's going to be. And then, of course, we look at Lucy and we go, oh, it's a shame it doesn't have a counter. Yes, so just trash it from your hand using your leader skill to essentially make it a counter plus 2k. Robin is broken. But I did tell you they revealed Koby as I was recording my audio. They totally did. But annoyingly, it's our first sword leader. And we kind of need to be able to see a lot of sword cards. So this is going to be another one of those where I'm going to tell you what it does, we're going to chat about it, but we're not going to really be experts on how good this is going to be, because we're missing a lot of important context because it's a new type of card. But what we've got here is a 5,000 power, 4 life dual color leader, the colors being red and black, as we might expect. And basically your sword characters can attack characters on the turn that they are played. Very important. We've seen this in the game a bunch before. You can only attack characters. They're not actually able to go and attack leaders and go after life or any of that. It is specifically characters that's important. And then once during your turn, when one of your Navy characters with an original power of 7,000 or less is removed from play by an opponent's effect, and it is specifically effect, this does not mean battle, it means an effect, you may instead place 3 cards in the trash at the bottom of your deck in any order. Puts cards back in your deck and stops you decking out and all of that. But more importantly, this means that you get to save one of your characters. And we don't know what sword characters are. We don't know what sword characters do. The fact that sword characters can attack characters on the turn they're played is brilliant, so that you're basically taking out all their characters and, paving the way to go through their leader later. This all sounds good, but we're missing a lot of important context here. This second skill, we're not really. Because we've seen Navy characters. We know that there are a lot of Navy characters around. Red, not so much. Black, a bazillion of them. And this means that you can basically have these and they can have that protection. And that's a good thing. You know, take your Kazan from OP-02. When attacking, give one of your opponent's characters -4 cost during the turn. Very cool card. Your opponent tries to take it out using an effect. You can't take it out using an effect. Gutted. It's not perfect by any stretch. You got to have cards in your trash in order to actually activate this, and it's only once per turn and only when it's removed by an effect, not actually removed by battle or any of that. But I'm saying that there's enough here to be helpful and to be thankful for. And look, it's going to depend a lot on what these sword cards do. The success of Koby is going to be dependent on how good these sword cards are. But I am telling you that there is a chance this is really good. Katakuri actually does look like a very good leader. Koby has got a huge amount of potential, but it's really hard to look at this trio of leaders and not just go, Nami's broken. Absolutely broken. There we go. That's my take. Now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these leaders in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.